Guys, boy Benny, there's been some dark and ominous news for Donald Trump and actually America over the past couple of days. It's been quite depressing to cover. Last Thursday, they found the leading presidential candidate guilty of a bookkeeping misdemeanor that they literally moved mountains and oceans, still didn't tell us what the crime was, and then said that Donald Trump may spend the rest of his life in prison for it. Why? Well, because Donald Trump, they don't like his skin color, Orange Man Bad, and because he beat Hillary Clinton. That was actually his crime. Let me explain to you. And so this whatever this is, this new form of political lawfare, totally foreign to this country. It's totally and completely foreign. It's Stalinist in its nature. It's locking up your political enemies because you don't like them or because they're a threat to your power. That's what we're seeing right now. And so it's good when that power gets checked. And that just happened seconds ago. Ladies and gentlemen, the case against Donald Trump, run by somebody even worse than Alvin Bragg in New York, at Fani Willis down in Georgia, that case just got sent into nuclear atmospheric death spiral. Check this out. Seconds ago, Georgia appeals court halts trial of Trump and co-defendants so it can review conflict challenge to Fani Willis based on her affair. The appeals panel put the Trump case on hold pending charges against Willis, and so now they have said this trial will no longer go forward. This is such an awesome thing in the state of Georgia. This is an amazing thing. The Georgia Appeals Court has put one of Donald Trump's 4 criminal trials on hold, pausing his election interference case there to allow for a challenge based on the Fulton County DA's affair with her prosecutor. The move comes after Georgia Judge Scott McAfee issued a ruling allowing Willis to remain in her role, but not Nathan Wade, which makes no sense because if they're conflicted, then they're conflicted. That doesn't mean one person's just conflicted. It means they are conflicted, right? So Fani Willis has got to go, and you're not going to find anybody else who would ever bring these charges against Donald Trump because they're actually dumber than the charge in New York. Trump was convicted in the Stormy Daniels case in Manhattan. He also has Washington, D.C., but that's totally under lock. They're getting completely destroyed in Florida. So this Georgia case was their last best hope for getting any type of case or any type of pressure on Trump up to the run-up of the election. Oral arguments were expected to be held in October in the Georgia case. That pushes this well past November. So now there will be no case against Donald Trump before the election. And of course, if Donald Trump becomes president, then there'll also be no case against Donald Trump. The move comes just days after the appeals court set the October date for the hearing for the sensational appeal. The twin rulings were another procedural win for Trump, even though it came just days after the guilty verdict. Even if they decide to reaffirm Judge Scott McAfee's decision to allow Willis to stick around, even though she's conflicted, it will absolutely not come until several months after the November election. And that was, of course, the point for all this was rigging the election. The Georgia Appeals Court has ordered the stay of all proceedings in the Fulton County, other defendants seeking to disqualify Fani Willis pending the outcome of our appeal. Very, very good. This is our breaking tweet on this. Jonathan Turley, the appellate court, suspended the Georgia case against Donald Trump until after it considers the disqualification appeal on October 4th. That is 1 month before the election. That means that none of the pending cases will likely result in trial before the election. We're waiting on a ruling on presidential immunity, which may require a remand to the D.C. District Court for further proceedings and findings. That case is also currently suspended, and even when the appeals ends, there remain a myriad of pretrial motions to address. We've also seen what court rules and special counsel Jack Smith may be willing to accept to determine if the trial is even possible in the remaining time. Most cases at this date would not see trial before November because, of course, because the judges are rigged and these systems are rigged and these people are just total garbage. Georgia's Court of Appeals has just halted all proceedings in President Trump's Georgia trial until it reaches a decision. This makes it virtually impossible to bring the case through November. Yeah. So the disqualification of one of the prosecutors never made any sense. This was the original disqualification Viva Frei effectively saying that it is inconsistent and illogical with itself. You can't inherently say that they have committed disqualifying crimes together and then say only one of them has to go. This is a dual package here, right? Nathan Wade and Fani Willis, for the record, don't agree that they did anything wrong. Fani Willis saying in some super cringe interviews after her embarrassing disqualification hearing that she's really proud of herself.
I feel like my reputation needs to be reclaimed. Let's say it for the record. I'm not embarrassed by anything I've done. You know, I guess my greatest crime is I had a relationship with a man, but that's not something that I find embarrassing in any way. And I know that I have not done anything that's illegal.
Except for your home record, and you admitted to doing things that are illegal, like stealing campaign cash for yourself.
Whole life. When I took out a large amount of money on my first campaign, I kept some of the cash of that. Like, to tell you, I just have cash in my house. I don't have as much today.
I just took out money for my campaign and I just kept some of that cash. So you did commit a crime and you admitted that. The other crime was, well, you being a freaking lunatic.
So your office objected to us getting Delta records for flights that you may have taken with Mr. Wade.
And, well, no, look. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So
the clear-eyed ring of a bell of our justice system. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is your district attorney in Atlanta. And remember, if you owe her a G, you're gonna get $1,000.
He tells me how much it is, and I give him the money back. I don't, just like you're asking me about the money with Robin, I don't do my friends like that. So if you tell me it's a G, then you're gonna get $1,000. Whatever it is.
They're sending their best. Reminder: she lied about going to the White House. She lied about where she was staying, who she was sleeping with. Fani Willis couldn't wear her dress correctly. Her American flag pin was upside down. She's a complete mess. She's the hot mess express. And she's been having wardrobe malfunctions all across the country. And Nathan Wade has also been malfunctioning all across the country. Remember, Nathan Wade was the genius prosecutor who had never prosecuted any major cases, who was brought in to get Trump.
case will ever go to trial?
Oh, absolutely. This case is going to trial. I believe that
before the election?
That day of reckoning is coming. I do not believe that it will go before the election.
Okay.
The Court of Appeals, they have a job to do.
Sure.
When that'll happen, I don't know. Certainly not trying to opine as to
Sure.
What they'll do.
You don't have to try. Are you
not allowed to talk about this, right? The name that shall not be said, because Fani Willis is still under trial right now. The goal is to get Fani Willis disqualified from this entirely, right?
Georgia case regarding Donald Trump, and now pretrial motions put off, the fate of Fani Willis put off. But that I would imagine, and you were early on this, that means this whole thing could be put off.
Yeah, it could be put off at least till past the election, maybe forever. It's the same thing as we saw in the Washington federal case, Neil. You have to litigate in one court at a time, and if the Court of Appeals in Georgia is going to take that case, that means the trial court can't act on it.
So where does it go? If that one is, the documents one looks a little dicey, but you said there's one that could be resurrected.
So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is why they needed to get that guilty verdict. They had to have it, and they did everything to ensure that it happened, because they are desperate, and because they are evil, and because they must stop Trump. Why? Because they hate you. They actually hate the American people voting and deciding who their president is going to be, and you should take a step back and recognize that. And then you should punish them by voting for Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a bad day for Fani Willis. Good day for us. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See you.